K-pop Demon Hunters has beaten Pixar's Elio. How in the world did Sony beat Disney? Before we even get into this video, there's something fascinating about K-pop Demon Hunters. This film never appeared in theaters. It went straight to Netflix, but I promise you this movie is way better than you think. Now, one of the cool aspects about this film is the music. There are a lot of cool songs with very carefully choreographed dance moves, which makes this pretty incredible. And another thing to note is that this film does not have a dull moment. Things flow so smoothly from beginning to end that you can't help but be entertained the entire way through. It's honestly a shame that we didn't get to see this in a theater. Could you imagine? It would have been so cool to be around other fans and people who enjoy hearing songs and music. But isn't it crazy how all the power was given to Pixar with Elio? Pixar advertised their new movie as only being available in theaters, meaning you guys gotta drive down to the local cinema to watch our poorly received film. I'd rather sit my butt at home and watch K-pop Demon Hunters, something that's entertaining, instead of having me drive out to be disappointed. Now let's compare K-pop Demon Hunters ratings to Elio. Right now we're sitting at a 7.8 for the Demon Hunters, and Elio is sitting at a 7.1 out of 10. Therefore, K-pop Demon Hunters has beaten Pixar. Like, didn't Pixar have the monopoly over animated movies for many years? I'm telling you, when I was growing up, there was a point in time where each movie was a hit from Pixar. They wouldn't even miss a beat year after year, man. Even with their sequels, everyone would look forward to the next movie. However, nowadays it seems to be the opposite. I'm telling you, now studios can produce better than what Pixar is able to give us. That's shocking. Also, maybe people are getting tired of this art style from Pixar. The bean look kind of reminds me of the Cal Arts debate back in the day. But basically what this means is all the new movies have this distinct look and art style, which is not really a big deal, but I've seen some older adults say that they don't actually like this style. Now, me personally, I thought it looked great in the Lucas movie. I didn't even realize it was a change in art style, but looking back, yeah, that was definitely the same kind of bean look. I liked it, but not everyone enjoys that look. Now with Sony, there's a little bit more of a mature approach to their art style. It gives me that comic book feel. I like that. I also like that Sony is able to experiment with their movies, similar to DreamWorks with their art style. They're doing things that have never been done before. Now there is one question I have about K-pop Demon Hunters, and this is a question directed to the animator. How did the frames work in this movie? As I was watching the film, I see that the characters don't move as smoothly as in other animations, but it looks amazing. So like, what is going on here? Is this a technique that I just don't know about? Because I remember seeing this from Blender on YouTube. There was a short film called Sprite Fright, and they actually decided to skip some frames in between to save cost. So I don't know if that's what's going on here for Netflix. But obviously Netflix has a way higher budget, so it doesn't make sense. So I need someone to answer this. I don't know if anyone can answer this, or I don't know. Regardless of that, I still think this looks amazing. Every frame is beautiful. It's like dessert on screen throughout the entire film. There is too much to love in this, and I might have to actually rewatch it. That's how inspired I am. K-pop Demon Hunters is adventure-packed. It's not cliche at all. We haven't really seen this story before. It's original. And even just the idea alone about K-pop in an animated movie, I mean, think about that. I'm actually surprised this doesn't happen as often as we're seeing now. You may be saying, well, Kolobi, I don't know if I should give this a chance. I mean, this doesn't really seem like something I'd watch. And my response to that would be to have an open mind. You never know. When you first saw a 3D animated movie, I bet you that was not something you were used to watching, but you still watched it anyways. I'm talking about the first movie you ever saw. You probably forgot about it. Why not give this one a chance? Oh, but Kolobi, it's about K-pop and fandoms, and I don't want to. No, you don't know that. Now, fun fact about me is that when I was in high school, I actually used to listen to K-pop. Me and some other classmates would look forward to watching those music videos. I literally have them saved on my playlist till this day. And I remember thinking to myself at the time how hard these musicians worked in Korea. Their work ethic over there is not to be scoffed at, guys. They work really hard. That's why the dances look so awesome. So if you're a fan of K-pop and you still haven't seen this movie, I don't know what you're doing. You're hurting yourself. What's not to love about this situation? I love the model designs. I love that they beat Pixar. I love that Pixar has to kind of take a seat back and reflect. Now, there is something I'm worried about. I'm hoping that Pixar/Disney doesn't get butthurt like they did with Mufasa, where they just decided to spam their movie in the theater and knock out other selections. Like, dude, that's dumb. Like, could you imagine if Pixar just decided to get angry that people didn't like their new film? But in this case, they literally can't do anything to K-pop Demon Hunters because it's not even in theaters, man. But still, I guess that's a blessing in disguise, I guess. So what if we all learned from this situation? Well, I think that being creative is something that's important to films. No matter who you are, you might be a writer, an animator. You're trying to create your own story to tell one day. Maybe you'll be the next big indie creator. Now listen to me very carefully. Have you noticed that in the last couple of years, the only things that are really doing good are the films that are actually unique? Like, I'm not just talking about things that have been regurgitated over and over again and cliche after cliche. Let's be honest, the cow has been milked. So people are tired of the old formula, they want something new. So the writers of this film deciding to mix in K-pop with an animated movie gave us a breath of fresh air. And as I was watching this, I was seeing these girls kick some butt. And if you're acting like a tough guy, I got news for you. I know you watched the Powerpuff Girls when you were younger. I know you did, you just didn't tell anyone, but you thought it was cool. Well, here's your opportunity to watch some action again. For crying out loud, this movie beat Pixar. How is that even possible? I keep saying this, but it's just dumbfounding. It's unbelievable. And you know that Pixar is getting desperate because they're literally making sequel after sequel. We're literally getting another Toy Story. Dude, what? I'm sorry, but that franchise literally needed to end at 3. It should have ended at 3. Got a conclusion in the 3rd one. There was absolutely no reason for the 4th one. In fact, the 4th Toy Story ruined the franchise for me because of a couple things. The art style changed, making the characters look too realistic, which defeats the purpose of animation in the first place. Yeah, it's cool to have a cat look like it's from real life, but at that point you have to wonder, what is the point of rendering a hyper-realistic cat to mimic our real world? Like, do you realize the point of making art in the first place is to escape in a sense? I don't respect Toy Story 4 making the animation look like a vlog. Like, that's not why we signed up to watch an animated movie. Emphasis on the word animated. Wow, do I sure hope Pixar learns from their mistakes. For some reason, Elio is just bombing at the box office. I haven't seen it yet personally, but it's getting such negative reviews. And it's not just from the art style. What is going on with the writing down there? Was the writer's strike not effective enough? Is there something that we don't know about? Because there's no way that a company putting millions of dollars into a movie can flop like this. Like, people just say, hey, we don't like it like that. Like, there's people on YouTube with hardly anything in their pockets that are able to write or make things better. Like, that's embarrassing, Pixar. It seems that people are saying the story fell flat, which is pretty shocking coming from Pixar. I mean, there's millions of dollars that goes into the writing, and to see your movie just bomb like this is unbelievable. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the like button.